Welcome to Labor History LS001, Spring 2014. I'm Gosha Maffei. I am your instructor for this semester. And I want to give you a little introduction to the web page, and this way you don't have to come to a mandatory meeting, but you do have to watch this in order to go on with the rest of the class. Let's see if that looks any better. No, it doesn't. Sorry about that. All right, so here we are. So there is no way, this is the very first thing, you must have your labor history book. If you don't have the history book, and this is it, and see how thick it is, and see all my notes? Anyway, this is the book you must have. You need to have it right away. We're going to be going through about 50 pages a week. So you need to have that. You will be having 50 pages a week. You will be having a quiz or a forum each week, and you will be having definitions every single week. So you need to spend about 3 to 4 hours a week on this class. Let me see, what can we do? So the book is available now at the LA Trade Tech bookstore, or you can go online and look for it. You can try Amazon.com, you can try Barnes & Noble, you can try Union Communications, but call them first because it may not be there when you want it, because that's where LA Trade Tech bought it from. So let me see, where am I? So first of all, this is a virtual class. This is a Sunday to Saturday 11:30 p.m. class. It won't be doing that this week. It's going to be a Monday to Saturday 11:30 p.m. class. So everything will be open for you to look at every single week. Everything is closed except for the week you're working on in the previous week. So what you want to do is get on as soon as possible on Sunday, read the assignments, see what pages you have to read, and one hint, many people don't think about this, but if there's a forum, I would read the forum questions first. Maybe even print them out if you're old fashioned, or have the pages open, look at the questions so that when you're reading it and you get to the answer to the forums, and the forums are pretty intense. So you're going to be working on these forums. They're not like 1 2 sentence answers. So they take some thought, some analysis of what's going on now, what was happening then, why it was happening, etc. So you want to read the forum questions first. So it's a Sunday, it starts opening at 00:00 Sunday morning, and it closes at 11:30 p.m. on Saturday night. Your forums are due on Thursday night at 11:30 p.m. And your 2 responses to other students, when you read the directions, you'll understand. Your 2 responses to other students are due at 11:30 on Thursday night. So otherwise, everything is due at 11:30 p.m. on on Saturday night, except the main forum question, which is always on the Thursday night. That way, you can post your answer on Thursday night, and then Friday and Saturday, you have time to come back, read what other people have written, and then respond to them. And you have to respond to 2 people, and that's all that information is on the class page. Please open the course now and start at the top of this page, and let's go down while I kind of chat with you, see if you can see all this now. Trying to get this over there for you. See the page? Right, this is your page. And you want to look on both sides. The navigation side here, this tells you your courses. You probably won't need that much unless you're taking a lot of courses online. Over here is the administration section. You see that? The thing that's most important for you here is the grades. You can click on grades, and that, if my computer is working fast enough, would take us to a page that would have your name on it. And then when it has your name on it, you will see all your grades. We're going to skip that right now and go back over here because it's taking too long to do it. So let's go back to where we are. I'll just go here, stay right here on the page. Maybe that'll stop it. All right. So as you go down the page, you can see everything you need to know on the first section. This is my little brief introduction about labor history. This is all the different things that you can get with student help, right? Also here is, these are required responses. You must respond to these, otherwise you will not be able to move on. Right now you are listening to the mandatory YouTube viewing. So you're doing that. Here's student resources. And this is a question, oh, it did respond finally. This is a question that the Labor Studies Department wants to have done just so they can keep tabs on who's taking their classes. Here's office hours. All right, you see that there's the office hours. Here's the information. Here's the time and date of the office hours. And here's your students, the telephone number if you call by cell or if you call by 800 number with your passcode. I'm going to turn this back around now and let's see if we can look at each other, or at least you can look at me. All right, the office hours are not mandatory. In other words, you only come to the office hour if you want to. If you don't have a question, if you don't have an issue, you don't have a concern, there's no need to come. I am there every single week from 6:30 to 7:30 on Thursday night so that you can call in and ask questions. Okay? So that's a real easy situation there. As you can see from the student learning objectives, you will be able to identify and evaluate significant contributions of American unions and working people. This should be exciting as you will learn things that you didn't learn in grade school or high school that we don't even know. Hopefully you're going to go, oh my God, I didn't know that was true about Puerto Ricans. I didn't know that was true about Chinese people. I didn't know that was true about women. I didn't know that was true about the black migration up into Detroit. A lot of different things. Or I didn't know how well people worked together when they came together and went across all those lines because they joined a union and they were all brothers and sisters in that union. You're going to learn this stuff, and hopefully it'll inspire you and give you a sense of how powerful we are, the working people of this country, and what we all did to make this country what it is. And if you ever want to listen to Elizabeth Warren, she's now a senator. She says that, yes, the big businesses, they put the money in, they built the business, they dedicated their lives, but it was our taxes and us who went to the schools, who paved the roads, who have the police officers and the fire departments and the building codes and everything that make it possible for the wealthy people to get wealthy. And so those are the kinds of things that you're going to learn the truth about how that is really so. It's not just political discussion. All right. As you can see, so you see that that's what we're going to be learning about. All right. Please read my introduction under the picture of the young boy and of the young boy minors. Next, you will notice there are a few icons with words of student help and Moodle listed. Each one of those is a resource for you. Just click on them. You may not need the information. You may do it. The Moodle resource will give you some ideas how to get along this web page. Now, I may be talking fast because I'm originally from New Jersey and I'm wanting to not keep you stuck in front of this video for a long period of time. So anyway, next you will notice that there's required responses. You cannot move forward on the class if you don't answer those responses. So please do that. And those are things that are saying, I'm not going to cheat. All right, I'm not going to plagiarize. It's about attendance. Who's responsible? If you don't show up for the first class, then I will take you out of the class. We have a waiting list. Also know that if you just show up and you click on and says you were there, but you didn't do any work that week, you are absent. You must do work. Because otherwise that would be like you walk into the classroom, you go, hi, Miss Maffei, and then you turn around and walk out. That's not being in the classroom. So you must do the assignments that are scheduled for each week in order to be considered present in the class. Okay, and that's not my policy, although it would be. It's the college policy. Under communications, you will find the syllabus and the various other information about course gradings. Click on those, read them. It's your responsibility to know the syllabus. On the syllabus, it tells you how you'll be graded, how many points you need to have to get an A. How do you get those points? And as I showed you before, you just go over and click on the grade anytime and you'll see whether or not where you're at as on that spectrum. The other thing that's important to know is that I do not grade every single day. I am not sitting online 24 hours a day waiting for you to contact me. So I may take 2 days, probably max, to respond to a question. And it could take me up to 2 weeks to grade all the papers, because right now we've got about 70 or 65 people in the class. So it depends on how many people stay in the class and what the assignments are, how quickly you'll get your grades. All right. Here also are the forum rules. The forums are extremely important because this is how you exchange ideas. And that, my friends, is what education is all about. That's why you're here, to exchange ideas, not just read them, not just take whatever words I put out there, what I write, not just even the author's words, but when you write things down and somebody comes up in a forum with an exchange with you where they challenge you or they agree with you, but they give you a reason why, so that you can then come back to them and say something else or go, oh, I learned something new, or that person doesn't know what they're talking about. It all depends on you. You will also see that you are to upload your photo. This will give us all a feel as to who you are, because we're exchanging this information. If you don't want to have a picture of your gorgeous face, that's fine. Upload something that speaks to who you are. Okay, just so that we have something to identify with you. This is a graded assignment. It's the first one. As you can see, the due dates of the assignments are listed at the top of the page. So as you go down, they're listed there. You can click on the link for the forums, quiz, or definitions, and it will take you to a page where you can do the work or answer the quiz. If you are confused, you may email me. I am not on the class page, like I said, every day, but I should get back within 2 days. And if you feel you need help, you could go to the student help or the student chat, because the student chat room is where you can post a question like, I don't understand what she means by this question. And then somebody else that'll go out and somebody else might come back and say, well, Maria, the reason you don't understand it is because she misspelled a word, or that's you're a page ahead of where the answer is, something like that. Do not text assignments. No texting, because text language is not okay. And you will not get graded for it. You will see that you are graded for correct spelling and grammar. So you need to check your spelling. Now, there's supposed to be a new way to do this on Moodle. I don't understand it. I'm going for training on Wednesday, the 12th, to find out how to do the spelling. And then I will post either a tutorial or I will send a message out how to check for spelling errors when you upload an assignment. That's mostly in your forums and in your definitions. Okay, so you need to be careful there. On the left-hand side of the page, you will see under navigation that you're able to click on different topics once they're open. Now, most of the time, they're not going to be open until as we get through the weeks. When we're on week 8, we'll have all the ones that we've been through open already. All right, but just not 9, 10 through 16 or 17. I will be opening up each assignment each week. Below that is the administration, and you will see a link for grades. This is where you click on to see how you're doing in the class. You could know that if you've done 2 things that are worth 50 points, you should have 100 points, and you see you only have 10 points, you might want to contact me and say, what's going on? But again, give me 2 weeks to get this all together, to make sure that I have it for you. Your grades will be in a number. I think it goes up. An A is like 8 something to 975. So if you're between that spectrum, come the end of the semester, you will get an A. As to receive an A, you must finish the class. Here we are, between 877 and 975. All right. Now moving over to the right side of the class page, you will see several topics beginning with messages. Now, when you go to the messages, and I'm going to turn this back around again, hoping that you can see it better, or at least understand what I'm talking about there. You can see this is messages. Say you want to leave me a message. You click on there. That'll take you to this page. You'll put in my name and then search for me, and then you'll be able to respond to me. You will probably see messages that I sent to you. Okay, so there'll be messages. Then you can see the calendar. And as you look on this calendar, I don't know if you can see it, but on yours you should be saying today is, that's when the February 12th events quiz for week 1 opens on February 12th. So you can just highlight it. This says, this is the definitions are due today. All right. This says definitions are due next Saturday or the following Saturday. Then you go down here. This is where the participants are. When I click on this, I get all these different people. Now look at this. Stephanie Tucker has already checked in. Here's Javier Flores. He checked in 3 hours ago. Here's Carmen. She's been on. So you can see that this is how I know if you've shown up. Now we got Diego Ortega. He's never signed on. All right. All these other people got on. They checked out. They're looking at the page. And this is how I know whether or not you showed up. All right. So when you show up, it logs on here. All right, and I will say, oh, Stephanie was here 4 seconds ago. She's on the page right now as we're speaking. All right, I'm going to go back to the main page, and you can click on that little link up there. It takes you right back to the main page. So if you wanted to send somebody a message there, you would click on here, and then you would click on Stephanie's picture. Oh, Stephanie, I shouldn't use you. What I'm going to do is I will use me. We'll go here. You want to send me a message. You click on here. This tells you my profile, my bachelor's degree, blah, 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 blah. Then you go down here. This is my full profile. Here's my email. That does not tell you how to send me something. So I think if you click on my name, well, let's see. Maybe you can't send me a message right now. There should be something that says send a message. But it's not doing that right now. So usually that's how I send a message is I click on the picture and then a place takes me to a message. But it's not happening right now, so maybe they're working on it. All right, let's go back to the calendar. Oh, we did the calendar. All right, so now back over here. You can keep on following down and oops, you're looking at not me. All right, so feel free to play around with all the links because that's how you learn. And there's some things there that are the latest news. I might post something that you might need to know. So with all that said and done, that's the end of the mandatory introductory meeting. So you should enjoy the readings, and during the forums, feel free to discuss at length your thoughts on this new history. I hope you really, really get the reason I teach this is that I feel that working people, which is 90% of us, are left without our history. We read about people and it's always the wealthy, the rich, the political, the ones that made it, the ones that we help make it, but the everyday person is not mentioned, and nobody could do anything without us. And each group that has come to this country has contributed. And the group that was here before everyone else came contributed. So you will see this. And if you're really interested in that, there is on Netflix a PBS program called New York, The History of New York. And it goes through from the beginning of New York, when the Dutch came into New York, all the way through the design of New York, all the way to 2002, which was after the Twin Towers were knocked down. Shows you each group of people that came in when New York was the capital of our country. And it shows you what they've contributed, the fights that there were, the camaraderie, how the Irish got in power, how the Italians got in power, how the la-da-da-da-da-da, all this stuff, how it all happened, how the big libraries got built and Central Park got built and everything about that. But it mostly shows you what each of us have done and how it got discovered that there were people living in slums because the rich were on the other side of the town and had no idea. All right. Another book you might want to look at is The People's History of the United States. I have that as a recommended book. Please read the complete syllabus for all the college rules about the class, attendance, and behavior. Also be sure that all your submissions are your own thoughts and do not use anyone else's, because that if you use a quote from somebody else, make sure you put a quote around it and then say where you got it from. So you put notes on there. In other words, do not plagiarize, and that means do not copy anybody's information. That's a cause for dismissal from the class and maybe even from the college if you get caught plagiarizing. There was something that came up as I was saying that about behavior and attendance. When you're writing on the forums are an exchange. And just because it's words and you're not sitting talking with someone, we must be kind. Somebody might say something that you hear it through your own filter and it upsets you. Please do not attack that person. You are reading their forum. If you have a response, you might say something like, I really didn't understand why you wrote that. Could you explain that? Or that seems like the terms you were using were sexist, or the terminology might have been racist, and I don't appreciate it, or maybe I misunderstood. All right, we are not here to make anybody feel bad. We're here. This is a safe place. Any class of mine is a safe place. If you have a question about something, you call, you let me know, and we'll see how to handle it. All right. If somebody is writing things that they shouldn't be writing, I'm reading them, so I will be taking care of that. But if you feel offended, notify me. Please do not attack anybody on the class. All right. And please enjoy the class. I will be uploading this so that if you missed anything from this, you can read it. It'll be right underneath the mandatory YouTube for the introduction. And I will be posting, hopefully, every week a little lecture before each 50 pages that we're reading. So welcome to the class. I really hope that you discover a link between who you are, or your parents, or your family members, or your ethnicity, or your culture, or your gender, or your persuasion. I hope you find a link here that lets you know how valuable you are and how valuable you will continue to be, because it is us, the working people, that make this country. Okay, talk to you soon. See you on the line, see you on the page. Enjoy the class. Keep me posted if you have any questions. Remember, it's your responsibility to drop. It's your responsibility to turn your work in on time. And it's your responsibility to discover yourself and your history.